Hey guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company. Welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today's Sunday and it was supposed to rain all day and instead it's been a gorgeous day. Yesterday it was supposed to rain all day. It was a gorgeous day. Friday was going to rain all day. It was gorgeous. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Maybe it's the forecasting, but there you go. I'm not going to argue with it. So today I have this kind of cute little folio that I made, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm going to make a second one. So I made this one. I just am enjoying doing the Disney papers and just making things that I think would be really useful if you actually are going to the parks. So I did this cute little fold over here. On this side, I just left it. I thought this would be great, a place to put a journaling or a photo or whatever you wanted. I thought about doing a tuck, but I just didn't see a good reason for a tuck. I don't know. I was a little concerned too about making it too thick. Let me move this camera around a little bit so it's easy. Ooh, let me just knock the camera around a little bit. I didn't want to make it too thick because then I was concerned it wouldn't close. So I made a nice little closure, and then left these very simple, an easy place to put a picture. And again, I really thought about doing a tuck. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll add one later. But for now, no. And then I made this little, cute little bookmark. It's got a space for, journaling or picture, whatever you want on that side. The way I did this one, I'm pretty sure I saw this on Carolina, on her channel, Carolina Craft. The way she put this together so that you had this really nice, it's really substantial, two-sided bookmark. But it's actually working as a closure. So, with the pocket and then with the, I don't think it looks like it, but with the waterfall. What I am going to say, I decided not to add a ribbon onto this one, again, because I was concerned about the thickness of it. So I just wanted this to be really simple and easy. I have considered doing a staple piece in, like a little tiny ribbon that comes out of it. And I might do that with the next one. We'll see. But I would want to do it before I attach, or before I poke the hole through both sides. I'll show you what I'm thinking about when we're there. Anyway, so this is acting as a holding spot for this cute little waterfall. Really simple, not a lot of pictures. So you can put a picture here and journaling, or vice versa, here and here. You got a space here, and then you've got a little pocket to put in your tickets and things if you so choose. And that's it. This is a super simple little folio. Folds back up again, ties in front. Yeah, I just was thinking something that would be easy to carry, and simple to put together. No fuss, no muss. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I hope you like it. Pull back just a little bit once again. So I have already done the first step, which is just to make my folio. This is not even particularly heavy. This is a 65-pound weight paper. What I did was I took a 12 by 12 and I cut it in half. So this is 6 by 12. And then I'll give you some numbers. So the folio itself is 6 by 12. And then I scored at 4.5 and 9, which is, I actually did it this way. So this would be 4.5 and 9, and it gives me this 3-inch piece here. Is that right? Yeah, because this is all 9. And then I switched it around. I just looked at which way I wanted to do it. I liked it this way. But you could do it either way. You could have your opening here, or you could have it go like that. Honestly, whichever way you so choose. Okay, so that's the first step. Easy peasy, quick and easy. And then I wanted to do some background. I wanted to do some backing to this. So you can see with this one, I used red as my main folio. With this one, I'm using black, so I'm going to be using red as my solid background. And I have another piece of 65 weight. I only used the 65 weight on here, and I actually don't know what the weight is on this one. I think that the Echo Park is more than 60, but it's not 80. Or more than 65, but I don't think it's 80. But I do think it's a little bit more than 65. Anyway, once you start adding these layers, this is nice and hard and substantial. And I used to worry about that a lot. I used to think that it wasn't going to work, but it does. Okay, so I'm probably going to need a whole nother sheet. Let me think for a moment. I have some of this from a previous, from something else I was working on. Okay, I think I'm just going to grab this instead of cutting up another piece of 12 by 12. You can see that I can't, I hope you can see the difference because I can't combine these. These are two different reds, as they so often are. But you can use, use whatever you choose. Okay. So now I'm going to need 4. Let's zoom in a little bit for you guys here. Okay. So for these, I'm going to need 4 of these red that are 4 3/8 by 5 7/8. And because remember, these are the dimensions. It's 6 by 12. And then you've got the 4.5, and you've got the 4.5, 4.5, and then the 3. So that smaller section, I'm going to need 2 front and back that are 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. So here, those are my cutting instructions for this part. Okay, so I want to do that's going to be interesting. Okay, I want to get at least 2 out of each of these. I've got to think about it for just a minute because I used the 12 by 12 with the last one. You know what? I'm going to go back and use my 12 by 12. Only because that's what I did the first time around, and here I am already moving things around. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Let me get that stuff out of the way. Alrighty. And get my big cutting board and my 12 by 12. So these two are actually, yep, that's the same one. I'll use the first piece that I cut. This is going to be easier for me, at least. All right, so this is 6 by 12. I'm going to go ahead and do my 4 3/8. I think I already have it at 4 3/8 right there. I do. I already had it there. Now it's gonna be quicker to do the 5 7/8. I like to make it make sense to me, and if I do it this way, all my other cuts are going to be 5 7/8. So instead of putzing around with those, everything now is the same height. So now I'm going to go to my 4 3/8 right there. And there we go. So I'm going to get 1, 2. Remember, I need, so really I only need 1 sheet of 12 by 12, and I probably should have just pulled 1 sheet, because I'm going to get 2. I'm going to get 2 of this 4 3/4 by 5 7/8, and then this one, which should be 2 3/4 by 5 7/8. Let's see, 2 3/4, right there. So with the dimensions that we're cutting, 1 12 by 12 will cut this down, and you'll have that pretty much as your waist. All right, let me put those aside. I'm gonna have to cut down this one. All right, I always have to check 5 7/8. I always check. It's that holy, it's that whole check, you know, check twice, cut once, or measure twice, cut once. And I definitely believe in that. Someone was asking me recently where I got my paper cutter from. This one is it's about 9.5 inches. And I just got this on Amazon. It was pretty inexpensive, quite frankly. And it's great. It's a great paper cutter. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down. So I've got my 5 7/8. Now I need to be at 4 3/8, which should be right about there. And 1. Sorry, I just put that like that. 2. And the last one is 2 7/8. Did I do 2 7/8 on that other one? I think so. Maybe. We'll find out in a minute. Yeah. Or no, that looks wrong. It got stuck. I think I did this one too small. 2 7/8. No, I did that one too small. All right, so I'm just going to have to cut another small piece down, which is fine. That's my 2 7/8. And then my 5 7/8. Like I said, the minute you hit the camera, I just think it's funny. I see so many of us doing that. There, that's better. And I'm sure I have another use for that one. Okay. So I think that's pretty much all I'm going to need my big paper cut. I love, by the way, my guillotine. I love my guillotines. Love them. Okay. So now I should have all of the backings that I need. I'm just going to go ahead and attach them. But did I do that? I lost. Oh, here it is. I couldn't find this. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry, but okay, so I'm just going to do a quick look-see. I'm going to do that right there, just to help me figure out make sure I'm getting it right where I want it to be. You can see there's just such a teeny frame around here. And here we go. Hope everybody's having a good day, a good Sunday. Kids are done with school mostly. We have some students at school who are coming back just to remediate with their testing if they did not pass their EOGs. You have to get a 3, 4, or 5 to pass your EOGs. End of year, that means, EOG just means end of year grade or end of year testing. End of grade testing. EOG. So we have some students who are so close. So they're going to be coming back and getting some extra help with the areas that they struggled in. Maybe. I think we know general areas where kids struggled, but we never get any testing or, honestly, you're never allowed to see any of that stuff. Kids can't tell you. You're not allowed to see it. They will. What they will do is they'll release some questions for the following year. If you're not familiar with it. So what they'll do much later is release questions for the following year for you to work with your students on. But I am not a big fan of our high stakes testing. I just don't think it gives us a good idea of where kids are, but that's just me. Okay, so hard not to talk about work sometimes. So while I go back to school for the rest of the week, little Brett, who is now plenty old enough to stay home by himself, he did very well on his EOGs, so he'll be home while I finish out the week and get everything cleaned up and packed away and ready to start a fresh school year in August. Yep. And so, by the way, this is just my process. I know there are some people who like to add their decorative papers on before they put down their backings. I use basically 1/8 of an inch, maybe it's a 1/16 of an inch, around the frame. I think it's like a 1/16 of an inch. It's very thin. But you can use whatever you want. I mean, they're all good. I love using the Echo Park and Cartabella, or even just just in general, the collections. They're super fun to work with, but they're curated. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. Well, you kind of have to think about it. You still have to put the papers together the way you like them, but they all kind of go together. So I've been working in between 3 of the collections. I did break into the birthday park collection, which was not on my original list. I mean, I had it out thinking that I'll use it if I need it, but I have needed it a little bit here and there. So, but they all work together, which is super cool. So that makes it easy. My inability to run this glue in a nice straight line. I see some amazing crafters out there, and they're just like, it's like drawing a straight line. They can just go zoom, zoom, zoom all the way around. But you know what? Messy works too. They all work. So if you're not doing like those super straight lines, that's okay. It takes nothing out of your project. There we go. Okay, now, I mean, seriously, quick and easy lemon squeezy. So the base of the book is together, and I actually forgot. See, I was moving too fast. So here's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put my ribbon down, which I meant to do before I added the backing to this piece and to this piece. And now I just have to make a decision about what kind of a closure I'm going to use. Whether I'm going to go ahead and add the ribbon behind the single piece, which I may very well do. It's fine. It'll be just fine that way. But if I'm going to do that, I want to go ahead and lay down that right now. Let me move it a little bit because this is pretty far away. What'd I do with my ribbon? It was here, I promise. There it is. So I'm using this cute little ribbon. This is from Hobby Lobby Merchant 41, which is their brand. Printed Ribbon Red. That is the most that they tell me about it. Oh, there's a number for it. If you want this one, 993493. So I'm going to measure off 2 pieces of this. With this one, I just measured off 2 8-inch pieces, and I really feel like they're just too short. I really want to make this one a little bit longer. So with this one, I am going to do a 10 and a 12-inch piece. And it's 10 and 12. I'll fix this in a minute. There's, with the shorter one being in front. And then the next one I'm going to do 12. Just to make sure that it's easy to tie. Okay. I just decided with the last one, I felt like it just wasn't long enough. All right. So this is just what I like to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're at 6, and I'm going to find my middle mark, and that is generally where I want to put my ribbon. I don't. So wasn't as centered. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3. Because I want this one to be approximately in the same place. And this is just tear tape. And burnish. Right. Because it's going to come around. So this one will come this way. This one comes up from around that way. You can kind of see it comes from behind there. So it's all good. In the future, I'll try to remember to put it down before I put my backing on, but it's not a big deal. So now those are down. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing, laying down my other papers. No, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut my inner pieces. So I've already chosen those. I'm going to put these aside. I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and put them on. If I put them aside, I may forget to put them on. I may just glue right over the top of them. And I can see myself doing that. Where's my little picky tool? I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these just so I don't forget to put them on. So my 10-inch one goes here. And I'm really going to burnish. I want the ribbon to become one with the paper. And then with this side, actually went down too far. All right, so here's what I did. I actually went down too far with this one. I don't really want to lose that much of the ribbon. So I am going to just kind of move ahead a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do that. But you can see, well, maybe you can't. Can you see that I still have some exposed? So with that exposed sticky, I don't want it to be exposed. I'm going to go ahead and put on my back sheet, just to get it out of the way. Now I went ahead and pre-chose my papers. These are going to be the two that show in the front, here and here. And then on the inside, this one's going to be for the waterfall. And then I have these that are going to go on either side. Like this. These are going on either side. This is my back piece. It is, of course, directional. So I am going to use this side. I think that's cute. I think it's going to go well with the other pieces. This one came out of the birthday set. Okay, so with this one, I did some other numbers back here, which can be a little confusing. So I did, let's see, the waterfall. Oh, nope. Actually, this is fine for the front one because these are my print pieces. So this is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. 5 3/4, 4 1/4. So I'm going to do my 4 1/4 first. I'm going to look at it about 20 times before I do my cut. Yeah. Yep. 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Cute. Okay. I don't want this to adhere yet. Actually, it looks like it's a little bit small. Oh, yeah. It's fine. Sorry about the silence. I had the pen in my mouth. Okay, now I just kind of need to get above it and make sure that I even that out. I actually do like that way. Okay. There. So the back is done. Okay, now I'm going to move inside to the waterfall because I can put this down straight. And I'm going to pull up let me put my glue back on. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up my dimensions for the waterfall. Which is right here. Let's see if you guys can see that. That's my print. So the waterfall pieces, I'm going to do 3 pieces that are 4 3/8 by 3 1/2. This is going to be my print sections. So 4 3/8 by 3 1/2. So let's come back out again. And I'm going to do that in my leftover red. Hopefully I have enough. I should be okay. I'm going to do my 3 1/2 just because I don't want to bring down my big cutter, which I'll need to if I have to put the whole, because this piece doesn't quite fit. Okay. Oh, I got to turn it back over. Waterfall 3 1/2. So I'm doing 3 of these at 3 1/2. Oh, that's right. I had to cut that other piece off, didn't I? Ooh, man. And 4 3/8. Right about there. Yep. And 4 3/8. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut another piece. That is really unfortunate. Okay. Because I don't think I have another one that's going to match. Let me take a quick look and see if I have anything big enough left over from before. Well, that was silly of me, and now I have to move to my big cutter. And get that piece down. Darn. Now I just have to find that paper too. Okay, this is actually not as easy as it looks because I think I've used up all that red. Oh, Sharon. Okay. All right. I am going to go ahead and mix reds. I don't like to do it. I really don't. But I also don't want to, because it's so far off. But because of the way I do the waterfall, you really shouldn't be able to see this one. So if I put it at the bottom, it should be okay. It should not stand out because the waterfall, very little is exposed. So let me go ahead and do it this way. I'm trying to make it make sense to me. So I'm going to do my 3.5. And my 4 3/8. Okay. So these 3 pieces, these are pretty close. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my pocket right away, but my pocket is wrong at the moment because I needed to add a 1/2 inch. So it's got to be, so the pocket on the bottom, let me just make sure this is the right. It's going to be 4 7/8. Why would it be 4 7/8? It's going to be the same as the waterfall. Oh, I know why it's 4 7/8. I'm doing great here, guys. My own design, my own dimensions. I can't read it. Okay. And then this needs to be 2. All right, that's spot on. That one's fine. Okay. Now I'm going to get out my small scoreboard. And my little scoring tool here. And I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to score them at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do it this way. Because that's my fold over piece. What do y'all think about this off color? It's not that's not the exact same. Okay, so with this one, it's a little bit different. With this one, I'm going to score at 1/4 inch. And 1/4 inch. I know this is weird. And a 1/2 inch on the bottom. Just my being weird, cutting it like that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to zoom you in here. I hope you can see those marks. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of trim that corner up a little bit. And basically I just kind of curve it around right at the corner. Gets rid of some of the bulk at the corner. And when I glue this piece down, I always put my sides in first and the bottom, I always fold that up last. And what that does is when you're sticking something in, that means it's not going to catch this. If I do it like this, if I put this one down first and then glue these on, when you're sticking something in, it might catch on that piece. But if you do it this way, I just, usually it works pretty well. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and do this. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. So there it is. I'm going to zoom out. I hope you all could see that. I'm pretty tight in here. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I said, I'm going to put this odd color out is going to be my last color. I am going to go ahead and attach these, but not the pocket. The pocket's going to be one of my last pieces on. And well, no, with this one, it doesn't have to be. I may go ahead and attach the pocket, only because I'm not putting anything else underneath it. So if I was putting a pattern paper underneath, then I would put my pocket on last. And that's just my process. And that's most of the time, but there's always exceptions. Always exceptions. So are you guys enjoying, are you watching all of the different collaborators do these projects? I am just in awe of those ladies. I have been so enjoying their collaboration for the Paper Stash Smash collab that they're doing. I think I say that pretty much every time, but I'm really grateful that they allowed people to, that they sent out the, use the hashtag for it so that people can see yours too. Because that's been really fun to feel a little bit of, I'm not part of the collab, but to feel a little bit of a part of it, that's been really fun. Okay. Now, I could have more pieces on here. And this is going to be 3 inches by that 4 and whatever, 4 7/8. There we go. So cute. All right. There's a cute little, oh man, please tell me that went on straight. That's better. I'm going to bring it there. Okay. And then I just need to make sure. I think I did this last time and I had to change my dimensions on this one, but I didn't write them down because this is just, I don't want this. I want, let's try that again. This pocket needs to go below this. So this needs to be able to open without the pocket's interference, which means I need to take off approximately a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take off about a 1/2 inch. Makes this 2 inches. I think my original dimensions, guys, were right. I think I had, this needs to be 2 1/4, not 2 3/4. Let me measure that up again. I just want it to be nice and straight. Let's see how that does now. Oh, I still need to shave a little bit off of this one. Move this so you can see it. So I'm still trying to get this one. Oh man, it still goes over the top. I don't think I took off a full 1/2 inch. Now it's just a shaving game. There. That was a pain. Yeah, I did not take off a 1/2 inch with that one, but that's good. Oh, that's why. Sorry, I don't know about you guys. I need a quick drink. A quick sip of my soda. All right. For this project, I am going to go ahead and attach this piece. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I left that open. Oh, that's a lot of glue. And I do want to make sure that I get the pocket on. Okay. Oh, come on, nice and straight. It's one of the things I like so much about using my glue instead of tape. Glue is just ever so slightly forgiving. Not tremendously forgiving, but a little tiny bit. It gives me that, little minute to fix things. Okay, so now the waterfall is done. The ribbon is in. I am ready to start putting the rest of it together. And now it's just cutting and laying paper. So this first little piece right here, I'm going to go back to these dimensions for some of this, which is some of my printed. Now, if I hadn't done the waterfall, these would have been my dimensions. I could have just done easy peasy, and you don't have to do the waterfall. You can do it just as a simple, put the papers on, and then you have this really cute little simple portfolio. People can attach their pictures and kind of do what they want. Okay, so this one is going to be 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm going to do this one first because it's going to leave me the most paper afterwards. 2 3/4. And that's a nice size chunk. I love that paper. Okay, and then this one's going to be, let's do it this way, 5 3/4, right? Mm-hmm. 5 3/4. That's that piece. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. Unfortunately, that's not enough. One of the things about this that I've learned when I've been doing this Disney is that I really wish that I had purchased the 12 by 12 for me, because I think the 12 by 12 would have been easier with some of the bigger projects that I've been doing with this, but live and learn. Okay, and this one's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. So 4 1/4. by 5 3/4. And I did a little bit of almost mirroring from the first one. Cute. All right, I like that. I should put my pen down. I should stop putting it in my mouth. There we go. So there's that one. I really am enjoying how this kind of mirrors the other one. All right, there's that side, and then this one's going to be this way. Cute. Now, if you wanted to make it a little bit more matchy-matchy, you could do that and then make it look a little bit more overall. I just really like the contrast. So that's what I'm going to go with, but you guys are so kind. I love it when you share on the Little Britain Co. Facebook page, when you share your creations. That is fantastic. Sheila does that a lot for me, and I love seeing what she makes. She's super talented. And it's just really fun to see what everybody's doing. So you are welcome to do that. Okay, there we go. So the front is about ready. I don't know whether I'm going to put something on this one or not. I kind of like it not. I kind of like it both ways. All right, now next. Oh, there we go. I'm going to do some of my inner papers. Barrowing? Good gracious, if I could only speak. Burying. Okay, so I know I want this paper to be that one. And I'm going to use that one. I think this was with that one and that one on the bottom. And then is that right? And I've already done the back. I have an extra sheet. Or was I going to do that? That's just, for me, that's too busy. And I don't know why, to me, this is busier than this. I guess, I just do think it is. I think it's just too busy. So I'm going to do this one on the pocket. I'm going to do this one for the waterfall. And then I'm going to do these two. And these two are super easy. And, you know, I'm not adding anything to these two. Mostly because I'm worried about the bulk. I may try to do another one. You all know that I'm close to being done with the Disney paper. I've done a lot with them. One of the projects you haven't seen yet is this one. But, okay, so this is 2 3/4. 2 3/4. But I might do another one of these and add maybe a 1/4 inch in between here. I did this way. I think it's 7/8, or not 7/8, 3/4. 3/4 right there. All right, that's that one. So cute. All right, this one's going to be 4 1/4. This one's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 and 3/4. Oh my word, I keep saying 7/8. So that one's going to go like that. And I think I might go ahead and cut down my waterfall. And if you all can see this, these are the waterfall dimensions. So I'm going to do one piece, which is the top piece, at 4 1/4 by 2 7/8. And then I'm going to do two basically strips. They're going to be 4 1/4 by 3/8 of an inch, which is super tight, because I'm going to fill the whole section. All right, I'll show you what that's going to look like. Let me come back out a little bit so you can see more. So I fill this whole piece. I don't leave a frame, maybe a tooch at the top, but I pretty much fill this whole piece. I leave a little bit at the top just because of the folding, just because of the way it moves like this. But with these, I'm only going to be doing those sections, if all that makes sense. And I'm going to start with those 3/8 of an inch. So in order to do that, I need to know exactly how much I have here, which is 6. It's about 6 1/2. So if it's 6 1/2 and I need 3/8 of an inch. No, that's not right. It's not 3/8 of an inch. That'd be a cord. I have to look at it. I think I did this one. I think I did it this way last time too, because it was just so kind of wonky, and I really want to get it exactly right. So that one's going to be there. This one, do that one first. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because of the way it's going to line up. Because I want this to be exactly there. Because then I want this next piece to be exactly there. Because once I put that down, and then I put this one down, like that, I'm trying to make them, then this next one has to go right there. So the final one has to be right there. Now, I need them all to be four and a quarter. That can't be right. No. Nope, that can't be right. I'm going to go ahead, because I don't trust my... Probably is right. I've already done this once, but I'm not trusting myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see what that lines up to. Yep. Okay. This is more like 4 3/8. So this length is more 4 3/8. Let me see if that works. Pretty, yeah. Pretty exact. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just lining them up here. And although I make sure it's exact. Yep. So we just finished Stranger Things. It's not going to line up. We just finished doing our Stranger Things season 4, and now we have to wait. It's funny. I mean, Stranger Things isn't new, and we were not really interested when it first came out, mostly because I thought it was more of a horror thing. But there are certainly some scary aspects to it. I think the season 4 was the scariest. But mostly it was friendship, I think. All right. Because I want to glue all this down at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and get my last piece ready. And this one I am going to go ahead and do the framing out of this one. I think I had the pocket set at 4 and... Why would it be 4 7/8? I swear I'm losing my mind. We'll find out. Like, that doesn't make sense. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mark. I'm going to open that one up. I'm going to stick something inside so I can see it better. Let's see if this thing fits. There we go. I'm going to stick that one inside, and I'm going to go ahead and mark this so I'm sure about where I'm cutting. Oh, shoot. So let me go ahead. Where did I just mark the other one? Yeah, let's do it this way. And nice. Okay, so easy peasy. We are really about almost done. So let me go ahead and start gluing some stuff down. I got the pin in my mouth again. Can you tell? There. I need to make a little, I need to have a little, pin cushion that I can stick that right into. Okay. All right. There's that side. And this side. These are big sides right here. These are big sheets. But again, this would be super easy. You really don't have to put the waterfall and those pieces in. You can always just go straight for just the straight. Let me turn this over. Try not to get too much glue on my hands. And let's see, there we go. And then this piece. This is actually a pretty quick folio. If you pick your papers ahead of time, then it goes together, you know, pretty quickly. I could have made that one slightly bigger, but I'm good with it. Okay, so this one, this has got to be really precise. Let me get this one down. This one's going to the very edge, which is, oh, I just smeared glue all over the place, didn't I? Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. Make sure I get that. Yep. Now, I will say the bonus, if you do this, if you create your waterfall and then attach it, put everything on and then attach it, if it's slightly off, you can fix it. And that is the one thing I can't change about my waterfall. Come on. There we go. Get that slightly over. Oh, beauty, as my husband likes to say. All right, and so my last one is going to go right there. Yes. Perfect. So I'm going to apologize right here on this. I am supposed to be talking to Kate. We had a 6 o'clock phone call, and I'm going to call her as soon as I'm done with this. But Kate, this is why. I started it just, I thought I would be done in time to meet with you on time. But I promise I'm going to be there in a minute. Bring that down ever so slightly. I don't want, let's see, let's make sure that that's, yeah, that's okay. Okay, so look at that. So the folio is pretty close to being done. And I'm not actually sure I'm going to put anything on the front of this one this time. I really like the papers. I like the way they're coming together. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to put in some of the white papers, and I'm going to put them on the inside. So I'm just going to grab a sheet of my white. I thought I had some of that left. And go ahead and cut those down. Maybe I did. Or is that one too small? This one might have been the wrong size. That one was the wrong size. Okay, so let me figure out my sizing here one more time, because it's got to be close. So this is for journaling or for people to put their pictures on. I'm not doing that top part. Let's see if I got this one right. There's one cut, and there's those two pieces are close, but not exactly the same. to get in kind of close on these. Let me see what I got here. Let me see what I got here. My English just goes right out. Let me see what we have here. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere that one. Let me see if I can use this next sheet. Because I think this is pretty good. How about this one? Okay. So it came. Now this one is a tooch shorter in width, but it does not bother me. I kind of wish the other one was a tooch shorter, but I think it works just fine. Okay. So now you open it up, you've got spaces, and of course you can put the pictures wherever you want to. On top, probably what I would do is put my picture here and journaling here. I haven't added anything in that middle space. Y'all let me know what you think about that, whether you think I should. And then I'm going to put a piece of white here, here to here, to do that side. Oh my golly, I can't see this one. No, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do this just so I can see where that part ends, because I can't at the moment. That red is just really blending. And I don't want to go right into my fold right there. It wouldn't fold properly if I do that. Okay, there we go. Get that little piece out of there. And I am going to go here. And here. Have I ever told y'all how much I hate being late? I hate it. I really, really hate being late. I'm so sorry, Kate. All right. But I love spending time with you guys. So since she is an incredibly kind person, I know that she'll forgive me for being... right now I'm only 15 minutes late. Okay. I'm doing okay. You know, not terrible. Okay. Now, this time, instead of doing a, oh my word, my brain is not working. Instead of doing the bookmark, I'm going to use one of the cool, cut-aparts, because these sets have some beautiful cut-aparts, and I want to use one of the big ones. I think I'm going to use Dream Big, and I'm honestly just going to back it up on a little bit of, let me do it this way. Let me do this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off. Put that one aside. I'm going to trim this one off. Put that aside. I'm going to go with just a touch trim again. Make sure I don't have anything showing up there, or there. That looks about right. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. And come on. I'm going to use a little bit of that other red since I'm out of my word. It literally, okay, you can be over there. Just jumping out. Okay. So I want these two pieces to be pretty much the same. So actually, I'll do it this way. That'd be smart. So I'm just going to make sure that these are the same. Because I'm just backing it up. So I am doing a triple. I'll do this triple piece here because I think that's going to be cute. Okay. And I am going to grab my chomper and I am going to do, I'm going to do these one at a time because if I do them two at a time, I'll make a mess. I know I will. So I am just going to make sure that that's in there. Nice. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And that one's done. And then I'm just going to take this piece. And, oh, that was way too close. Gracious. How about that? I'm going to take this piece. Part of the reason I'm doing some of these things this way, I might fill more. I could do more pockets and things. If I do too much, this album's just not going to close properly. So I'm just doing some simple stuff. There. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do a quick trim and chomp. Then I'm going to add my white to the back. And a little bit more. I want to line it up. Ugh, that's not even. That's pretty good. Okay, good enough. I did, by the way, guys, find out that the paper with this series, it was off. A number of times I found that there were sections that were just not lined up properly. That's not right. There we go. I'm gonna double check that these went in correctly. There we go. For some reason, does somebody have an answer to why my chomper leaves just this little bit here? Sometimes. Okay. And I have glue on my face now that I keep putting the tip of this thing into my, I pull it off. There we go. So now I've got this cute little journaling card. come up. There we go. And, oh my golly. How cute is that? And it folds up. And we tie it with this adorable paper. And I do, this adorable paper. I'm not tying it with paper. I'm tying it with the adorable ribbon. I don't think, at the moment, I just can't see myself adding some other embellishment to the front of this one. I really like the way it's looking. I think the ribbon is kind of enough embellishment for it for right now. Y'all tell me what you think. Do you think I need to add something here like I did with this one, or do you think that this is okay the way it is? And it's done. I really hope you enjoyed them. And let me know what you think, and whether this is something that you might consider making. I am going to make another one, as I said, with the Christmas papers. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget to hit the like, leave me some comments, let me know what you think. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hey, what are you waiting for? Why don't you jump on the bandwagon with us? I'll see you guys later. Cheers.